I appreciate you. I
Oh,
I love you so much. And I'm so glad for us doing this series of videos because it's gonna help me.
yeah.
It really is. It's gonna help me. I know it's gonna help everybody else, but I'm gonna be selfish in all of this right now. Right?
Right?
Right.
But it's
Yes.
gonna help me too.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
I'll explain that in a minute. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, Stacey, just go ahead and tell everybody all of the good things about you, your background, and all of that.
Okay. All right. So I love you too. I didn't want to interrupt, but it was in my head. I kept saying, "Oh, I love you too. I love you too. I love you too." I love you too, my friend, and I am so happy and appreciative that you trust my guidance enough and my knowledge and wisdom and understanding to be able to sit here with you and that you could share it to your audience, that you trust my work enough to be able to share it with your audience. And I want to just say this before we get started, I'm sitting here in my my little office space. I'm in my couch, crisscross applesauce, barefooted. I was like, I'm not doing and this is how we're going to do it every time we talk. I am not doing the stiff chair I'm
Right,
just going to be. Yes,
right.
I cleaned up a little bit, spruced the hair, put on some lip gloss. But the truth is, we're having a couch chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you said that it's going to help you, it helps me too. Every time I speak about a topic, any topic that I'm asked to speak about,
Mm-hmm.
it sharpens me. It sharpens me. It reminds me of some things that I may need to level up on. It I always tell my clients, when I'm helping them, I'm also helping myself. And it's the truth. I see it in all my interactions. There is a sharpening of skills that happens for me, but there's also nuggets that I take away from my clients, regardless of whether they come to me thinking I'm fixing them, which I'm not, by the way. I take away a lot. So when I do these things, Michelle, oh my goodness, I walk away feeling so refreshed and so realigned and really honored to be able to share my voice in the way that I get to, because it's so important when you're on a healing journey. And so, who am I? Every time I introduce myself, it probably comes out differently because I don't have it scripted, because I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. Um,
Yeah.
I think, after doing this, not I think, I know that after doing this work for as many years as I have been, 4 to 5 years now, that each time I introduce myself, it might be a little bit different because each time, every step of my way, things have shifted a bit. Um, I have gained a little more knowledge. I've maybe added a certification. You know me, I'm the certification queen. Added a little thing here or there. And so it shifts a little bit. But to the core, I know who I am and the core of who I am. So I'm going to tell you what I do and I'll tell you who I am. So what I do is I am a hypnotist, a life coach, and a meditation teacher. Okay. Hypnotist, I do hypnosis through a process called RTT, Rapid Transformational Therapy. And that's a practice that I learned through coach Marissa Peer. And if you guys don't know Marissa, she is a British woman that coined RTT, and she's an amazing, amazing hypnotist and an amazing therapist. And then my certification for life coaching came through Shetty. We all know that amazing looking, handsome um, ex monk, Shetty, that is like the influencer. And his school really called me back in 2020, and I was really impressed with the certification program I went through with him. And then recently I did a meditation, a primordial sound instructor certification through the Chopra Institute, Deepak Chopra's Institute. And so those are the three things that I do that kind of combines, and really what they are, they're tools. They're tools to help me to help others, right? And how do I help others, or what do I help others with? I help others, people of all walks of life, to get unstuck from things that's keeping them feeling stuck, right? And I use the word feeling stuck because we're not truly stuck. It's a state of mind that makes us feel like we're stuck. But I help people to rediscover the truth of who they are, rediscover themselves, help them through things like anxiety, um, releasing old traumatic wounds. My secret sauce is to do inner child healing to help them to help their younger selves to kind of release things, traumas and belief systems that are holding them hostage now, that is outdated and outmoded and really needs to be done and over with. And I do this with all of the tools I shared, the hypnosis, meditation, and through life coaching. But my secret sauce, so when you lump all of those together, my secret sauce is I do subconscious healing. And I help people to tap into the subconscious mind and heal from that space, right? And the journey of that healing is amazing because, and I'm going to use the word fast, but please note, no healing is fast or quick. Healing is a journey. But when I say fast, when you tap into the subconscious mind, what's fast is the understanding is fast. So if you are wondering why you suffer with anxiety, or if you feel depressed and been depressed for many, many, many years, and it's just a cycle. And you find people that say, oh, I'm winter depressed, or I get depressed around the winter time. There's a reason for that. There's a cycle why maybe around October or November, all of a sudden you feel depressed. The question is, what happened? What happened that made that time of year a time of year where you feel depressed or anxious? And so subconscious healing helps to get to the root of what happened. It doesn't always fix it right away. But when you get the quick understanding, then the real work starts, right? The moment you get that quick understanding, Michelle, then the real work starts. And so that's why I love subconscious healing. Subconscious healing is not only hypnosis. I do visualization with my clients where I just have them breathe in, breathe out, close your eyes, and I have them journey to places to find answers, journey in their mind, journey in their body to find out why am I aching? Go in your body and ask your body, why? What's this about? What's that about? And sometimes I have them journey back to childhood to really figure out what's happening there. And then my other subconscious healing tool is meditation. And meditation is something that most people say they don't know how to do. And most people say they're getting it wrong. And one of these sessions, we're going to deep dive into that. And we're going to talk about the myths and I'll give, your listeners some tools to understand that they're not getting meditation wrong. They're just having an expectation. They're having the expectation of that dude on my wall. They think that they're going to just be floating and everything is just going to be great. And then they're going to forget about their worries.
Yeah.
And when they take a deep breath and they close their eyes and that doesn't happen, they pop their eyes back open and they go, oh, it's not working. But the truth is, it is. We'll dive deeper. But meditation for me is one of the tools that I give my clients, and I do it myself too. And it helps really to eliminate a lot of stressors in your life. because you're training your mind and training it, which in turns train your body on how to be still. Because
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, you and I know we move fast, 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 fast,
Right.
right? That's what
Yeah.
society has taught us to do.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I've trained myself to slow down. But what meditation helps us with is to slow down. And the more you do that and allow yourself to go into silence, because the truth is, between every thought that we have is a gap of silence. But because so many thoughts are running through our mind, we don't hear the silence. And then all of a sudden, what do we think? We think that we're not meditating. But the truth is, it's like riding a bike. First, you fall off the bike and you have to get back on the bike. And then you fall off the bike and you get back on the bike until after a while you're smooth sailing. It's the same concept.
Okay.
So that's what I do. And that's why I'm outside of that. I'm a mom, a wife. I have lots of amazing friends like yourself. I'm a spiritual intuitive and I love the beach. Um, yeah. And it's just me and love doing this. And I look forward to sharing whatever else that you would like me to share today.
Right. I'm all of that was juicy in itself, right? You know? Yeah. There's always something that I'm thinking about. You'll be talking and and something will come to mind. And I don't know, I text you about something, I don't know, it was a week or two ago,
Yeah.
and I had closed my eyes and I could see something. And I mean, right now, I'm trying to remember what it was that I said that I saw.
I'm going to check my text message. You know, I'm
Right,
going to check my
right,
text
because
now. I want to know.
it was so profound. And I don't think it's like too far back.
No, I'll find it.
Yeah, and um I was seeing something, and it was just kind of like weird for me that I guess that I had went there, you
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think I had ever experienced that before. So, and I just thought, oh, Stacey will probably know what this is, right? Yeah, yeah. I don't know, maybe
Okay.
let me
You
look.
said you put your hands like this. I put my hands over my eyes and you sent a picture on how, and I could see light in the distance trying to peek through the darkness.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever experienced that before. And
Mm,
my answer to you was, I love that. There is always light in the dark you saw without your eyes.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, at the time, it was like really intense. And I'm
Mhm.
trying to wrap my brain around the feeling right now, but I can't. I can't. But I
Yeah.
just know that it was just, it was different. It's kind of like when when you become in tune with
Mhm.
yourself, right? You understand who spirit is, you understand that. And so I
Mhm.
and so I've had several discoveries about myself and with spirit, God, source, or whatever. And it was kind of like one of those moments, but I couldn't
Mhm.
really define it, right?
Yeah.
Um, like being able to um not necessarily know things that are going to happen, but speaking and then it happens,
Yeah.
that kind of thing happens to me all the time, right?
Yes.
So it was kind of like that, but I didn't have a definition for it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So you know, we don't have to have a definition. And I think some of our best spiritual experiences happens when we can't define them. And that's when you know it's the truth.
Hmm.
When you're speechless, when you can't explain it. when you can try in so many words to say, this is what occurred, this is what happened. But the only way that you can really explain it is through the feeling in which you experience at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what did I feel when this happened? Because when it's those types of experiences that what I would call spiritual or supernatural or out of this world experiences, it's it's not easily described. There are really not many words for it. And that's normally when I know it's real deal. Because, you know, like people who have experiences, and don't get me wrong, there are multiple people that have the same experiences, but whenever I can't explain it, I'm I'm literally like, well, yeah, this thing happened, and then I just stop and I go, the way it made me feel was, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's really about how did that moment make you feel,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I want to say this, um, and then I want you to share how it made you feel. When I answered that there's always light in the dark and you saw without your eyes, a lot of times we are so afraid of the dark. A lot of people are afraid of darkness,
Mm-hmm.
literal darkness, and the perceived darkness of this world. And the truth is, the darkness and the light is on the same continuum. One is just on one end, and one is on the other end. And when you walk into a room, you have to turn on a light switch. The room is dark
Mm-hmm.
before you turn on the light.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There is no light without the dark,
Right, right. I've heard
right?
that before too. Yeah.
No light without the dark. So
Yeah.
we can't be afraid of the darkness. But often when we cover our eyes or when we're in darkness, and you know, as we're talking about mental health, this really is something that I want your listeners to hear. When we are in the darkness, the darkest of times that we think is something that we're not going to be able to pull through, if we stop focusing on the darkness
Mm-hmm.
and just look around, there's plenty of light. If you're in a dark room at nights when you first turn off the light, the room is so dark,
Mm-hmm.
almost like you can't see if you're going left from right. But the moment you just adjust your eyes for a moment, there's light coming from every angle of that room.
Mm-hmm.
There's light coming through the window shades. And all of a sudden, your eyes have adjusted to that darkness and you're able to see,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, so that moment, what did you feel, Michelle?
Like I was saying, I don't even, it's like I can't really put a grasp on it, but it was just like um something different. I really couldn't explain it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um it felt like another awareness or something, a shift for me.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like, let's see, like, you know how when something comes over your body and you get this, um, I don't know, an emotional feeling.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the
yeah,
only way I can describe it. It's kind of
yeah,
like, whoa, right? It's kind of like that. And
yeah.
I've had those moments in my life, like when I realized who God was for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of tears.
Yeah,
Not at this particular that time when I was texting
yeah,
like that,
yeah.
but when that, and then when I would speak things, like I said, speaking things, and then they would happen. Like you say, oh, I need this, and then at 12 o'clock it happens. It's like what, and then it started happening more and more, and it's just kind of like so profound, especially in the beginning, that it's kind of like, what is this happening? Because you don't have this definition, right?
Mhm.
You know,
Yes.
and so it's like that. It's just like, okay, I'll probably have more times of this, just like I've been having these, I think something, then it happens, right? It'll come more,
Yeah.
it'll just be another thing, and I don't know what it'll be, and I really don't have to know, right? Right.
No.
I really
Yeah.
don't have to know. Yeah, I always have to tell myself, you don't need to know. Just go. Yeah,
Right.
just go with it, right? Um, yeah. And just what I'm thinking now is just understanding how powerful I am.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it. But you
yeah.
see how you said that with a question mark? There is no question mark there.
Yeah, and I mean that's the only thing that's coming to my mind that I could say, 'cause
Yes.
some people will say, well, how do you have power? You don't have power like God has power, but I do believe that. I do believe that I have power. It's just like if I can think something and it happens, there's some power in that, you know?
There's you have power like God have power.
Yeah.
The problem that we have done, the problem that has happened here is we like to separate ourselves from God.
Mm-hmm.
And if God made us, and I'm no Bible scholar, but if God made us in his own image, why would we separate ourselves from God?
Right. Right.
Why do we put this hierarchy on the divine?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we put this man on a throne sitting up in the sky, watching over us and judging us?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And then call that God. If we're made in his own image, then there is no judgment or judging us.
Mm-hmm.
And we do possess the creation powers. What you're saying to me is that you're a master manifester. That's what I heard. I
Mm-hmm.
say things out my mouth and boom, it happens, right? So that is pretty freaking amazing and powerful.
Yeah.
And so many of us do that without even realizing that we're doing it. We're not conscious that we are creating our worlds. And we not only create the wonderful things, we create things that we don't want in our lives either, because we're not being aware of the power of the tongue. And we're not being aware that our word is our wand. Our word is just like they're spells.
Mm-hmm.
Spells.
Mm-hmm.
Every word. Okay. What do we do when we need to write out a word? We spell it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Our words are spells. The things that we say out of our mouths, if we're not careful, we create them.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be careful in what we're saying so that we don't create them.
Yeah.
So when you're saying that I'll say something and it comes,
Mm-hmm.
it's because it's your spell. Your word is your one. Florence Scovel Shinn.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You have something to say.
The cancel that. It made me think of when you
Yes. Cancel and replace. Yes. Yes.
explain
Like,
that. Explain your cancel that. Yeah.
yes, yes. But I'm gonna tell you all about Florence Scovel Shinn. Look her up. She's a woman from 1925. She wrote a couple of books. They are classics. But if you go on YouTube, you'll find a few of those books that's been narrated.
Mm-hmm.
Your word is your wand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the game of life and how to play it. And her name is Florence, and Shin, I might spell it wrong, but it's Schinn, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and Scovel Shin. Florence Scovel Shin. Look her up. Your word is your wand is a quick 45-minute narrated message that is based on her book. And I recommend that to people all the time, especially when they talk about um, using their words to create things. And I'm like, we do it all the time. It's just a lot of times people are not cognizant of it. And then they create a hot mess in their lives by the words they use, the verbiage they're saying about themselves and others, by the way, because the universe does not understand that you're speaking about someone else. When you are sitting there dogging out such and such and wishing ill will on such and such, you might as well just turn those words and call your own name, because you are calling that on yourself. Or words are very powerful, very powerful.
Yeah.
And so let me say about the cancel and replace. So in our household, because we realize how powerful words are, we cancel and we replace. So we're humans, right? So we have a tendency to speak in the negative. Okay. And excuse me, I have a little throat thing. And we have a tendency to speak to what we don't want. We have a tendency to hone in and focus on the negative side of things versus speaking what we do want. And so my thing is, as soon as it starts to come out my mouth, my thing is, okay, cancel. I cancel it and I replace it. And if it comes out already, I still cancel it.
Yeah.
Oh, universe, I did not mean that. I don't want that. I take that back right now. Right?
Yes.
Cancel and replace it. So I have my whole household canceling and replace. My son does it, my daughter does it, my husband does it. Sometimes when I get caught, my daughter go, okay, so now I can't cancel you out. And I'm like, but that's not what I meant. She goes, no, but you made the rule in this house to cancel and replace each other. And now I can't cancel you out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
But it's real. It's the truth of who we are. So one of the things I notice is you you put a question mark next to I have power. When you said I have power, you question mark it.
Right.
And
And the reason why I do that is because I know that some people don't believe in that, right? I know they don't. And so, there'll be, I remember at one time I told my mom, I said, you know what? I said, it's like I have a wand. And I said, I just wave it. And she was like, what? And I was just like, okay, she ain't there yet. She just ain't there. Right there yet. She just don't get it, right? She's older than me, but she just don't get it. And which is fine, she's at where she's at, right?
yes,
But I just thought she's not having the experience I'm having, and when I
yes,
tell people, yeah, I just wave my wand and, some people they'll be like, well, girl, wave it because I need such and such, they'll be joking, right?
yes,
I'm serious. I'm just like, well, I could wave my wand and that person to be gone like in 5 minutes, whatever, right?
yes, yes.
I didn't even have to do it. I'd just be like,
That's it.
and the situation
100%.
changed, right? So yeah. So and the question mark when you say you hear me have a question, what I'm thinking is people some people just don't believe, so you
Yes.
find yourself even explaining even more or trying to justify it when it's just kind of like, okay, they're not
No, they're
where,
not there yet.
yeah, they're not there. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And here's the thing. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because our evolutional process, our growth process, our spiritual growth is our own journey.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody is going to be at the same place at the same time. That's first and foremost to know. And I am not going to browbeat anyone in believing what I believe in, because that is not my job.
Mm-hmm.
My only job is to be, and to be who I am authentically, truthfully. And if I wave magic wands, I wave magic wands.
Mm-hmm.
And if I believe that to be my truth, and if you believe that to be your truth, that's your truth.
Yeah.
And yes, people are going to look at you side eye when you said, because some people don't believe it. I did the whole, right? Because of course they don't. So, because society has created a space where we look outward for our magic, so to speak. And I still call it magic. I don't care what people think. It's magic. This life that we live is a magical, amazing creation. It's
Mhm.
magic. And if you can allow yourself to just bask in that magic, you will enjoy the heck out of your life.
Mhm.
And even when it seems like stuff is not going the way it's supposed to go,
Mhm.
it's magic.
Mhm.
How you know it's not supposed to be going that way? Maybe that is just going to lead you to another magical door,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't explain to people anymore. It's not necessary. I know I stand in a lot of power.
Mhm.
I know that the divine creator did not create me here to sit on this earth and suffer. I was not created to sit here and look for my magic external of me. My magic is within me.
Mhm.
And other people may not understand that because, there's a lot of different belief system and it's okay. That's where they are.
Right.
And a lot of religious constructs will have us thinking that something is wrong with us, which is why so many of the witches of the past have been burned at the stake
Mhm.
because they knew things. How dare they know what's going to happen next? How dare they be given the powers to understand how to heal or how to help someone heal their illness?
Mhm.
Oh my God, blasphemy.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah.
right? And so, and so these women who possess these amazing powers were burned at the stake and so many other things. And
Mhm.
so that's why so many of us who know that we have the ability to do the things that we do to make magic, we become so afraid to say it and we don't say it confidently.
Mhm.
We put a question mark next to it. Well,
Mhm.
there will be no more question marks for me. It is what it is. Straight up, I have the powers of the divine. I was made in his image. Therefore, and I say his because everybody else says his, but mother, father, God's image. I was made in mother, father, God's image. And
Mhm.
therefore, with that said, I have the creative powers to create my own destiny. We
Mhm.
all have it. We all have it. And I don't explain myself. I say this unapologetically. I'm not going to apologize for it. Your words are spells. Your words are your wand. Be careful the words that you're using out there because you're creating things for yourself and others, or sometimes you're creating an environment around you and then you're like, oh my God, my life is such a ooh.
Yeah.
What have you been saying? What have you been saying out your mouth?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So stand in your power, Michelle.
Yeah.
Stand in that power. Wave that magic wand. As a matter of fact, wave that one over here and send some of that stuff over here. Wait, bippity boppity boo.
Right. Okay. Yeah. 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 One of my favorite movies was it was about the ice bears. I don't know if you ever saw it, but it was this young girl, and I don't know what happened to her parents, but basically, I guess her uncle was assigned to care for her. And there was something special about her. Well, she was the daughter of a witch, but she didn't know it, right? And
Mm.
so when things got bad, and basically she went on this journey with this bear, right, to find her friend or what have you, the witches stepped in and helped, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And they just, I mean, everybody that was considered to be bad
Yes.
helped her. They rallied together to help her, the Egyptian, what they call the Egyptians, and the witches, and the ice bears, and the ice bear that was an alcoholic.
Right? I love that. Now you're making me want to go watch. And I don't even watch movies, but now you're making me watch
Yeah,
that.
just look for the ice bears. I can't, it just had so much, but it was a very controversial movie because it went against the church, right? Because it
Uh,
talked about demons. Like you were a human and then you had a demon, which was an animal, right?
Yeah,
It was just,
yeah,
I mean, I'm intrigued with that kind of movie story
yeah,
anyway. So
absolutely.
yeah, but that's one of my favorites. It's like the witches came and they helped her and she found out her mother was a real witch. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah.
It's I don't know why people are so afraid of that word though, like,
Mhm.
witch. And it's so funny because every Halloween I'm
Mhm.
a witch. Every Halloween. I've been putting on a witch's hat for Halloween. For all like my daughter comes and Mommy, you always wear that hat. I said, that's because I'm a witch.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm gonna wear my hat, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have a good friend of mine. We knew each other since high school and we went to college together and we're almost like sisters at this point, right?
Mhm.
And because of my gift of dreaming, I would often have these dreams, just like how you said you can say something that happens. So for me, I dream something and it happens.
Mhm.
And um, that's been with me since I was 10 years old. And one of the stories, and this is a perfect time to tell this, one of the stories that I wrote in my self-published book that did back in 2019 was about my gift of dreaming and how my grandmother helped me recognize that as a gift. So my grandmother Josephine, rest her soul, um, she, I was about 10 or 11 years old. I want to say I was 10, maybe no more than 11, but between that age. And we were going to an orientation for school that I was going to start in September, and it was late August. I was in Jamaica, living in Jamaica with my grandmother, and there were these random schools that you would choose, and you would take an examination, and based on the scores of the examination, then you would be chosen which you'd have a first choice and a second choice of school. So
Mhm.
I had had a first choice and a second choice. And when I passed my examinations at that age, it used to be a countrywide examination in Jamaica. I got my first choice school, and my first choice school still is Immaculate Conception High School, and it was a Catholic school. And girl, that's an whole nother story. Catholic school by day and Pentecostal on the weekends. This young girl was so confused. Hail Marys at school, and then a complete different ball of wax going on the weekends. Your friend was so jacked up and confused as a child when it comes to religion, which is probably why I reject it now,
Mhm.
right? I
Mhm.
don't reject God. So whomever is listening, get it right. I don't reject God. Just because somebody reject a religion does not mean they reject God,
Mhm.
right? But that's probably why I reject it now because but anyway, so I'd passed and I'd gotten this examination and I passed with some high scores. And so I got to choose my first choice school, which was Immaculate Conception High School. So
Mhm.
my grandmother was taking me to the orientation. We had never been there before, but we took the bus. And I remember it like yesterday because even the other day when I went to Jamaica last year, I went to visit the school because I was reminiscing about this story I'm telling you.
Mhm.
And we got off the bus. And when we got off the bus, we had to cross the street to go to the school. And when we crossed the street, there's this big wrought iron gate, which is typical for the Caribbean. And that's the gate where the cars would go in. And then there's a small little arch gate. That's where pedestrians would walk.
Mhm.
So my grandmother and I walked through the small gate. And as soon as we walked through the small gate, I remember tugging on her skirt and like, Mama, I used to call my grandma Mama, 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 Mama. What? Child, what? Because what you bothering me for? What? And I'm like, I know this place. I know this place.
Mhm.
And my grandmother looked at me and she goes, no, you don't know this place. We have never been here before.
Mhm.
And I said, yes, I have. And she said, what? When have you been here? I said, I dream about it all the time.
Mm,
And then I started telling her where to find stuff. So
mm,
this is my 10-year-old brain now. My 10-year-old brain was like, over there is a statue of Jesus. Now
mhm,
hold this. Over there is a statue of Jesus. And over there is a church. And when you walk down there, you're going to see this beautiful garden. And I
mhm,
have all these pretty, pretty flowers in it.
mhm,
Now, my grandmother looked at me and then she said, wow, baby, you have the gift.
mhm, mhm,
Now I'm 10 years old. I don't know what that means, right? And it wasn't until as I got older and I know that I had recurrent dreams and I continued to dream. And um, when my grandmother was still alive, we would talk about my dreams and come to find out she too had that gift of dream among many other gifts, right? She too had a magic wand, if you know what I mean, right? So when we continue to journey into this space that I'd never been to physically, but had been to in my dreams plenty, what I thought was the statue of Jesus was the statue of Mary, because we're on a Catholic school compound. What I thought was a church was the convent, because there was a convent where they boarded girls and nuns lived in that convent.
mhm,
And the pretty garden was called the Sunken Garden. I don't even know if Immaculate Conception still have the Sunken Garden. I'm sure it does. And the garden was a garden I was never privy to until a couple years after being in that school. One of our teachers took us on a field trip in that garden. It was off limits. And so that day solidified for me a gift that I had all this time that I didn't know until my grandmother pointed it out to me, right? So when we talk, and my gift of dreams have been on point ever since. I mean, I could write a book about my on point gift, my dreams, and up to this day, right? And so that is a gift. It's a gift. And if I was made in the image of the divine, it's a gift that was passed down from the divine. So it's not a gift to be burned at the stake for, because you have a little bit of magical stuff going on, because you can see forward, and because you have a gift of knowing, you know, it's a gift that came from God. And therefore, I am very excited to share that that's a part of my work.
Yeah, it's beautiful, right? Oh my goodness. Now, did you stay at the school or you just would come each day catching the bus?
No, I came in each day. I wasn't a boarder. A
Okay.
lot of the girls who boarded lived far away from the school,
Okay.
where they had to board, or
Mhm,
there were boarders who there were foreigners that maybe came from another country to come to the school. The school was very prestigious, still is a very prestigious school. And
mhm,
so when I was in Jamaica last year, one of the times I went last year, last December,
mhm,
I went to visit,
mhm,
and I remember walking through that little gate and walking on the campus and seeing the girls sitting on the lawn eating their lunch, because it was around lunchtime,
mhm,
and looking over to the statue of Mary that is still in the center of the roundabout,
mhm,
and just looking towards where that sunken garden is. And it was so nostalgic for me.
mhm,
Um, just, being back there. And the reason I went back there is really, it was me journeying that moment that I had with my grandmother, because that moment was very important for me. It opened up my understanding of what was going on with me when I would have these dreams,
mhm,
right? Because
mhm,
I had recurrent dreams all the time, but I'd never had anyone explain to me that it was a gift.
mhm,
And I never had such a profound, or remembered such a profound incident where the dream matched everything to the T like it was. So,
Yeah.
in other words, my destiny was always to go to that school.
Yeah. 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 You saw it before you got there.
I saw it before I got there.
Yeah. I love that.
Isn't
Yeah.
that
You
amazing?
stayed there for how long?
I stayed there for 2.5 years and then I migrated to the United States. So I started seventh grade, I did seventh grade, eighth grade, half of ninth grade,
Mhm.
and then I migrated to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Well, Darby, Pennsylvania, which was right around Philadelphia.
Okay. Okay, look. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we got some juicy stuff.
We
My
do have
goodness.
some juicy stuff. We do.
Yeah, yeah. So now, Stacey, you told me you were going to talk about like reflection journaling. You said something about that before.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. So
yeah.
let's go there. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Hmm.
What I really want to talk about, since you're focusing on mental health a bit,
Hmm.
and both of us love to write. And a big part of the series that we're doing is focusing on writing to heal,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Like I said, I'm sitting comfy on my couch, so let me get myself together. So a big part of what we're doing is writing to heal. And not everybody is going to have the inspiration, the motivation, or the time to write a book. But writing can be healing in many different ways. You can write a poem, you can write poetry, you can do reflective journaling. And what is reflective journaling? It's simply allowing yourself to reflect back to you situations you may have experienced or reflect your day. And as you allow yourself to do that, you find so many lessons within the day or so many lessons in the actions that occur in the day, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. So I encourage a lot of my clients to do reflective journaling. And if you just keep a journal next to your bed or next to the space that you relax and a pen or a pencil or something. And I recommend, like I always have a pencil or a pen that you write it out. Some people like to use their tablets and that's great or their laptops. But there's something about the hand and the connection to the pen and the heart. I find there is a fluidity when I pick up a pen or a pencil to write. And the words that comes through me, they're divinely written. There's just something about it when I do the pen. Last 2020, during the heart of um, the pandemic, I had an incident that happened to me that felt like the biggest betrayal ever. And it really just knocked the wind out of me because it was a betrayal that was done by people that I really love.
Mm.
And it really made me feel a certain way, right? And and so I decided one of the tools that I was going to use through that time period to help me through the process was automatic writing. And so automatic writing, I just took the pen and the paper and I just started to write. And it started with guides of the truest intent. And then I would just write.
Mhm.
And the other day, I was cleaning out a closet and I found all of the papers.
Mm.
There are piles and piles and piles of them.
Mm.
And I dated them.
Mm.
And I started to read some of them and I got lost in it.
Mm.
I would ask for guidance within these writings. What should I do? What should I say? How do I handle this? Da 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 da. And then I would literally see my answer, me writing exactly what I'm going to say, exactly what I'm going to do.
Mm.
But it was an automatic writing where I was asking for guidance from the divine.
Mm.
It was so profound to reread some of those. I had stats. And to think about it, that's what helped me through that moment of betrayal that I went through in 2020, the summer of 2020.
So you were writing your own answer at that time, or when you went back and reflected on them, then you could see the answer. So
I was,
in the writing, it was the answer there, but you didn't see the answer at that time?
oh, no, no, no. At the time, I got the answer.
Okay.
In the writing, the answer was there,
Mm-hmm.
but they were divinely answered,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's an automatic writing where you ask for guidance and you just allow yourself to continue to write and
Mm-hmm.
you will get the answer. And the way I knew the difference between when I asked for guidance and the answer that I received, it's it literally said you. So my writing changed, not necessarily my handwriting, not my handwriting, but the writing changed. So
Mm-hmm.
when I asked for guidance, when the answer started to come, it would say, you should, or you that, or you that. So it was coming in a different way,
Mm-hmm.
right? As if I was being answered.
Mm-hmm.
And man, when I reread them,
Yeah.
it was so powerful to see how clear it was that I started out looking for guidance and how by the time I got to the middle, going into the end of that writing, that paper, I got my answer.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
I'm telling you, Michelle, that is what helped me through that time because that time felt like such a terrible betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
And looking for guidance anywhere else outside of within me
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have worked for me.
Yeah. 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 Wow. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I feel like it's heavy what happened, right? I feel that. Like
Mhm.
whatever it was just heavy. It just,
Oh, it was heavy. It
yeah,
was heavy.
yeah. It makes me think about um I had a situation where it was just like you friends with someone and then it's just like, what is going on? And I had to sever the
Mhm.
relationship with the person, right?
Mhm.
And, every now and then I think about the person, but I'm just like, no, I deserve joy. You know, I mean,
We all,
yeah, I can't have regret, and I can't
yes,
put myself in a situation, thinking, okay, well, I'll go try it again. No, I owe myself joy, right?
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's okay to not be friends with someone, if they
yeah.
rob you of your joy, right? So
If they rob you of your joy, there it is.
yeah, yeah. And that one instance, and I'm thinking like, at that time when that happened, I know that over the years, I've become like not tolerant of certain behavior, and I
Yeah.
understand how to respect myself, right? I'm
Mhm.
understanding, well, okay, I used to do this. Well, I'm not going to allow this, right? So at the time that they caught me, it was just like, oh no, girl.
They caught you at a they caught you at a good
Good
time.
time. Right.
It was
It's
a good
just like,
time for you.
no.
It was a good time for you.
Yeah, I just value myself and respect is huge for me. It's
Yeah.
it's really huge and I'm either your friend or I'm not. I don't
Yeah.
I don't really have an in between. Either
Yeah.
we're talking, chatting it up. I'm talking to you every now and then. Hey, girl, yeah, I love you. Or we're just not. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just
Yeah.
not. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm doing the
But
not.
you know,
Yeah, with there.
but you know, I learned a lot about myself
Mm-hmm.
or in that year. I
Mm-hmm.
also learned that um when you don't when you're not seeing that something is not right for you or someone in your life is not right for you because you're blinded, the universe have a way of making you see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's hardcore, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And so in that year, it was hardcore. It came with a deep level of betrayal that made my kindness took my kindness for weakness or took my kindness for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And truly, you know, it was a lesson learned, but it was, it was tough.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved through that. But 2020 was also the year that I got two of my certifications. It's when I started doing hypnosis. It's when there was a lot of amazing healing that happened personally for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a profoundly amazing mix hodgepodge of, oh my God, it was like a pot where you put all sorts of stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I was Shetty certified. That's when I was Marissa Peer RTT certified.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot. There was a lot going on there.
Yeah.
It's when I had to shed a few people and, you know, I mean, as if the pandemic wasn't betrayal enough for us, right? My God, what else did we need?
Yeah.
But there was a lot of other people, also people that were pretending to be something and scamming people too in
Mm-hmm.
2020. A lot of online scamming going on. Oh my God, it was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I there are no regrets about any of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a part of my growth and my evolution,
Mm-hmm.
and it removed from my life things that needed to be removed.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Yeah. I never thought that I would be saying, oh, I'm just totally like, no, I am not your friend. I don't want to talk to you. I don't see you invisible, you know. And I never thought that I would be that with that person, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you know one other person, we've had our experience with one other person,
Mhm.
where I'm just like, it crossed the line for me. And I'm
Yeah,
just like, no, I owe myself joy and respect, and these people did not respect me. And
yes,
so where are they at? I really want to see where this person is at. I'm, like, why would they do that? And they're where they're at. And sometimes, like I say, I gotta leave you on this corner. And I might see you over there on the next corner, but I gotta leave you.
right,
Right? Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So
Well, we do have to look out for ourselves. But one of the things that I've learned is that my growth and your growth, it's different.
mhm,
And so I'm gonna let you grow at your pace and I'm gonna grow at mine.
mhm,
But I am going to unapologetically grow at mine.
mhm,
So I'm not going to make excuses or apologies or try to explain where I am on my journey at all. Where I am on my journey is my business,
mhm,
right? And
mhm,
where you are, it's yours. And so that's why I am, like I said, I will never browbeat a person into believing or understanding or seeing where I am. And but the respect goes both ways because I'm not explaining myself either.
mhm, mhm. Yeah. 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 Ooh. My goodness. Oh,
Did we plan this color? Because we sure didn't plan this color. And we looking like we sent a note to each
right,
other saying,
right.
wear this color.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Burgundy
goodness.
or something,
Yeah,
burgundy.
it's burgundy. It has this burgundy look. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
so funny.
yeah.
So funny.
So
So yeah, Michelle.
yeah.
What else? What else?
Well, I don't know if you have anything else to share or you want to do it next time or it's up to you.
Yeah,
Because I love talking to you. Whatever
I
you want to
know,
do.
girl.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
chatting away. Just
Yeah.
chatting away.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited because I'm going to Jamaica on Friday.
Hmm.
This Friday for a friend of mine is going to get married and I'm going to her wedding. And she has asked me to write her a poem. So she asked me to read a poem. And I said, okay, you have a poem in mind.
Hmm.
So I thought she was just going to give me a poem and I'm going to be the one to read it, which
Hmm.
I've done for plenty. Interestingly enough, I've done that for many of friends' weddings
Hmm.
where I've read something. Most of the times they've had me do the Corinthians verse from the Bible on love. But
Hmm.
this time I was told to write a poem. So
Hmm.
I'm going to have to script a poem for my friend who's getting married that I'm going to read at her wedding ceremony.
Well, I know you do that well on short notice.
On short notice, honey buns. Yes. So she
Yeah.
gave me 3 weeks
Yeah.
and I haven't written it yet.
Right. But it's going to be perfect because of when you write it.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it. I know it to be true. I haven't written it yet. But I've been getting inspirations.
Mm-hmm.
I've been inspired by Bob Marley.
Mm-hmm.
I've been inspired by the poet Rumi.
Okay.
I've been, yeah, look up Rumi. Rumi's amazing.
Okay.
I've been inspired by the sun and the moon.
Mm-hmm.
I've been inspired by sunsets and sunrises.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You get where I'm putting down? So truly, writing is about being inspired.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her yes, and I haven't written it yet. And our wedding is next Sunday. So her wedding is a week away from here.
Mm-hmm.
And more than likely, I will finalize it the day before the wedding
Yeah. In the hotel
because
room or wherever.
in on the beach,
On
it's
the,
gonna happen while I'm sitting on the beach with a big sun hat and some
yeah.
sort of drink in my right hand and
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
rum punch. I don't know. Maybe okay, maybe not a rum punch, maybe a coconut jelly water or something. But um because I've been inspired by the universe, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, I have these phrases that's coming into my head that I'm just going to put together.
Right.
And one of the things that I've done over the last 2 days is each time a phrase would come up for me, I would take my phone and I would say it, I would record it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm driving down the street and all of a sudden there's a phrase that comes to me that I think maybe this would sound perfect in this poem. And I would just tap my recorder and I would just say that phrase. And so, like I said, writing it's a combination of inspired thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And as I get these bursts of inspiration, and then I could just put them all together and
Mm-hmm.
make them flow.
Yeah. 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 I know you do that well because you've done it for me, I think, when you came to do black tie and yeah. And then something else too. I think wasn't it ATBA or something?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wrote a poem
Okay.
for ATBA
Yeah,
while I,
something. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
while I was at, while maybe a few hours before I had to say it.
Right.
I sure did.
Yeah, yeah. That's perfect.
Inspired thoughts
Yeah.
really do create amazing writing.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, if you just allow yourself to be inspired.
Yeah. So, do you have anything else you want to share with us today? Or, because we got a series here, so who knows what else is
I
going to
know.
happen.
Well, I'm just telling you, there's so much more that's gonna come later, and we're gonna actually come live from Jamaica next time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love
Yes,
that. I love that.
yes.
Okay.
We are. I'm gonna take my tripod and make sure my phone camera is nice and shiny. And I'm gonna
Mhm.
find a nice quiet space, probably with the ocean in the background.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do our stuff next week
Okay.
from Jamaica.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right, my love. Well, this has been great.
Yes. As usual, it's never
Yeah.
going to be nothing but perfect, right? Yeah.
Lady, I have stories for days.
This might be a 10-part series, right? Let,
Stories for days.
let us do it. It's like, yeah, it was 10 parts. What?
Absolutely. But one of the things that I really want to talk about, I did a live on this the other day on the Aura app. It's about play and the importance of play and laughter in
Yeah,
our lives,
yeah.
and how as adults we tend to push play to the side, and we don't laugh enough, we don't play enough, and
Mm.
it's really important.
So you're gonna share more about that
We're
on
we're
the
gonna
next time?
I think we should do that while I'm on the beach.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I
Let's
like
talk
that.
about play.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Another thing I want to talk about too is true love.
Mm.
Remember the book? Yeah,
Yes. Holy
yeah.
moly.
Holy moly, right?
Look,
Yeah,
that made us all think that we did not love not one day in our life. We didn't know what love is, and we did not love was we were pretending to know what love was, right?
right, right. That's gonna be a good one. We're gonna hold that one because that I just, my daughter's always pushing me. Oh, mom, you should. And I'm just like, you read True Love, then you get back to me. Okay.
And get back. That's it. You got that right.
Yeah.
That book had us all like, wait a minute. Did Thich Nhat Hanh just tell me that I don't know nothing about love? And that's exactly what you did.
Okay,
Yes.
my dear.
All right, my love.
Do you have anything else you want to share? Share your handle, your IG, all of that.
Absolutely. I am just at Stacey Henry-Carr, Stacey Henry Carr,
Mhm.
in all of my socials. It's also my website, staceyhenrycarr.com.
Mhm.
And I'm on IG, Facebook, LinkedIn, and yeah, reach out to me. Reach out to me if you want to talk more about any of these subconscious healings that I do, the RTT, which is hypnosis, and really diving into your inner child. Life coaching, if you're just looking to create a blueprint or, work more on understanding your values and your vision. And then primordial sound meditation, or any type of meditation that you want to learn more about, so that you can um, find that silence in this busy world.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You are so welcome, my friend. Chat to you next time.
Talk to you later. Bye.
All right. Bye.